Hi, I'm Alyson the Crocheter.
And I'm Vivian the Knitter, and you're listening to Keep Calm and Carry Yarn.
Hello, and welcome to episode 41 of Keep Calm and Carry Yarn. This is a knitting and crocheting podcast hosted by me and my mom, Vivian. I'm recording from my home here in Edinburgh.
And I'm recording from my home here in New Hampshire.
Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Right. I don't know why 41 seems like a big deal, because it's like beyond episode 40. It makes no sense.
Okay.
The numbers just keep getting bigger.
I know. Go figure. How is that happening?
I don't know. Well, we must be coming up on our second year?
Second? Third?
Second?
Third.
Third? Oh, yeah. 40 episodes.
Right?
Oh, so we would have completed... Oh my gosh, I can't even think. I've just been having fun.
Our podiversary is probably tomorrow.
Well, just another example of how really well organized we are.
Yep, we're super. Or it's either less organization, more episodes, or more organization, less episodes.
Yeah, we're just flying by the seat of our pants.
Basically.
Anyway, that was a weird opening. I just wanted to say a special thank you to one of our listeners, Jody, who is Ansty, Annsty on Ravelry, who said hello to us on our Ravelry thread, and she's a relatively new knitter, I think.
Ooh, we got a knitter.
Yes, she's a knitter. So yeah, hello, Jody.
Hi, Jody.
And I don't know, she mentioned being from Jamaica, but I'm not sure if that's where she is at the moment, just because her Ravelry location has two different locations. So, but that's fun. And we can jump into our BuzzFeed quiz.
Okay, BuzzFeed quiz.
I think they're getting more ridiculous and more ridiculous the further we go.
Because I'm having a hard time finding good ones. Because it's been up to me to find good ones because you've pretty much stopped looking.
I'm sorry.
So I'm the one. I'm the only one that's looking. And you should see our text feed. I just send Alyson links to different quizzes, and that way I can remember which one I sent her. And then
This one was Eat Your Way Around the UK and we'll tell you which British city to move to. I took this quiz a few different times, and I think I changed maybe one or two answers a couple times, and I got the same city every time.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe there's only 2 cities.
Well, I assume there must be 6. So I got London.
Where's that?
You belong in the... Huh?
Where's that?
Oh. You belong in the capital city. London is like a multitude of cities in just one place.
Oh, London. I thought you said Linden.
Oh, I thought you were just
kidding. London. London.
Oh, God.
Something wrong with my ears. Okay, keep going.
From the market stalls of Brick Lane to the green space of Greenwich Park, there's food, theatre, and so much more at every turn. And obviously I do like London, and I have lived in London before.
You do love London, and you have lived there before.
So I guess you got something different.
I got somewhere I've never been before. And not that I've been to that many UK cities, but Brighton.
All right.
If you thought being by the seaside would be all quaint and maritime, you couldn't be more wrong. Brighton is bohemian, full of culture and just tons of fun. The word cool gets bandied around a lot in Brighton is the definition of the word.
I've been to Brighton a few different times because Sam was doing some training there over the summer.
Yes, I remember
when we first met.
The only thing I know about Brighton is that in Pride and Prejudice, Lydia, that's where she runs off with Wickham.
I think that was one of the first places where I went to a beach in the UK, and because it's just a pebble beach, and I was I got there and I was so underwhelmed.
Did you cry?
No, but I was just this is not a beach. Where's the sand?
That's funny.
I take that back. That wasn't.
Well, I would actually like to visit there.
Yeah, it is I don't think I spent that much time exploring much of the city. It's a city, right? But I do
Mm-hmm.
remember going down some roads that were what I would describe as cool.
You would or not?
Would. Yeah. Some like
Oh,
trendy
okay.
cafes and stuff like that and
Mm-hmm.
shops. So I want to know
Oh,
what
that's cool.
food you picked because even I didn't know what some of the food was.
Really? Alyson did not know some of the British foods.
Okay, so what breakfast food did you pick?
I picked pancakes with lemon and sugar. It looks like crepes to me
Yeah, their
in
version
the
of
picture.
pancakes were definitely more crepey. Um,
Uh-huh.
I picked that my first try, and my second try I went for bubble and squeak. And I turned to Sam and I said, "Would you eat that for breakfast?"
What the heck is bubble and
It's
squeak?
I think it's potato and something green,
Something green
not
in it.
spinach. But I think it
Basil,
no. It's like
parsley.
no, it's vegetable. Um,
Oh,
just cabbage,
something.
cabbage. But I think
Cabbage, potatoes and cabbage, really?
yeah, well, because the
Interesting.
idea is that you make it with the leftovers from like your roast dinner. So you leftover potatoes, you leftover
Ah,
cabbage or whatever.
like leftover mashed potatoes? It's
Yeah,
like
well,
mashed,
I think it's
fried
been
mashed
like
potatoes
mashed
is
up,
what it
but
looks
I didn't think anyone would eat that for breakfast. And Sam said, "Oh, maybe brunch." So
like. Oh.
yeah, the other
Hmm.
options were crumpets, English muffin, a full English, and eggs and soldiers. Okay, the third time I took
Eggs
it, I
and
picked eggs and soldiers, even though I probably only would want the egg.
what's the eggs? What's the
The
soldiers?
soldiers are just like bits of toast that you
Oh.
would could dip in the runny egg.
Why don't they just say eggs and toast?
Because little kids call the like because I think you have to, you cut the toast into strips. I don't know.
Uh,
Okay, what
Somebody British, please tell us.
cake did you pick?
Wait, you have access to British people all the time.
Yeah, I do. And Google.
Pick a cake. What'd you pick?
I picked uh, lemon drizzle,
Oh, so did I.
and I didn't know
It
what
looks like a lemon pound
I
cake.
didn't know what parkin was. Google says it's a
I don't
gingerbread
either.
cake. Huh.
Oh. Hmm.
Originated in northern England, particularly Leeds. Actually, that sounds good.
Hmm.
Okay, wait. What Scottish food did you pick?
I also took it twice. The first time I picked tablet,
Uh-huh.
and the second time, this time, I picked neeps and tatties.
Mm. I just went for haggis because I quite like haggis. And I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure 3 of the 6 pictures has haggis on it. The
On it,
pictures of the
on-
tatty
yep.
scones has haggis in it, and the pictures of the neeps and tatties has haggis in it, and the haggis obviously.
So what's a tatty scone? It's like a fried potato something or other?
Yeah, it's just like
Or
it's a
scones
flat.
made from potato
It's not
flour?
really a scone, like 'cause it's really flat. It's almost like a soyobing. It's like unleavened.
Oh, sky pancake.
Is that what you would call
Ah.
that kind of bread?
The what?
Unleavened.
Unleavened.
Y-
Yeah, it's a flat bread.
Yeah, but yeah, made with
Oh.
potato. And then out of everything, the other ones was shortbread and deep fried Mars bars is also on there. I have not eaten a deep fried Mars bar.
You
No,
haven't?
I haven't.
Oh, we'll have to remedy that.
And then the hearty dinner I picked was toad in the hole because out of everything, that's the only one that I would personally make at home.
Oh, I picked shepherd's pie.
Hmm. I don't know.
Just-
I looked at all the hearty dinners and I just remember thinking, well, no, that whole idea that British food is unappetizing or whatever, and you looked at all of them, and personally, I can see where that comes from. None of it seems that inspiring,
Yeah.
even though like
So
there's.
the Lancashire hot pot looks good.
I mean, it all looks good. Like the steak and ale pie looks good, the beef Wellington looks good, the Sunday roast, obviously. But it's just
but it's not
it's
like
not exciting.
Instagram worthy pictures or Pinterest worthy
Yeah,
pictures.
it all looks is a bit like home cooking.
Mm-hmm. Which is what we eat every day.
Yeah, well, maybe not quite that fancy. And in case for any U.S. or non-UK listeners who doesn't know what toad in the hole is, it's the toads are sausages, and it's baked or cooked in a bready batter, Don't know.
Uh-huh.
So that's what that is.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
Okay.
Right.
And pick the pudding.
I went for sticky toffee pudding.
Oh, so did I.
And then the pastry, I picked sausage rolls.
So did I.
On the snack, I picked a bourbon cream.
I didn't see that. What?
Pick a snack.
Pick a snack.
Yeah, out of flapjack, millionaire shortbread, port scratchling, ice bun, scotch egg,
bourbon cream. Okay. I don't know why I couldn't see that right in front of my face.
And the second time
I picked a million.
Sorry.
Sorry?
Oh, I would say the second time I did it, I picked pork scratchlings.
I picked millionaire shortbread. Okay, I'm hungry now.
Do you know what? I did it again
Uh-huh.
just now while we were talking, and I'm pretty sure I picked different things, and I still got London.
They really want you to live in London.
Oh, no, this time I got Manchester. Okay. This time I got Manchester. I just picked random things.
Well, the first time I took it, I don't even remember what I got, actually. But it wasn't Brighton.
Right. So do you have any whips?
I do. I have my Zweig, which I hardly worked on at all because I kept ripping it out because I kept forgetting to do the pattern the 3 rows of patterning, and I was just like, okay, you need to go to timeout. I can't look at it anymore. So I started another alpaca hat. And not only did I start another alpaca hat, I finished the colorwork.
Oh, that hat. I
finished
was like,
the hat,
what do you mean by
basically.
alpaca hat? Right.
Yeah.
So what's the actual hat called?
It's called the Andean Chulo hat. It's a Knit Picks pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the 4th one I've made.
Maybe. Over
Yes, I made
several years.
Yes, over several years. I made one for you. I made one for Madeline. I made one last year for one of your cousins, and I'm making this one for me. So so the last one I made, the one I made for your cousin, I knitted a lining.
Yeah.
Instead of sewing a lining, like I did for yours and Madeline's. So this time I'm doing the same thing. I'm knitting a lining. Because it comes out to be a pretty big hat.
Yeah.
And the lining helps. Well, the reason why I'm making it is because you have your red one with you, right? And then I always wear either your red one or Madeline's blue one when I snowblow because I can tie it around my chin.
Because it's got the ear flaps. Yeah.
The ear flap. It's nice and warm, but not too hot. And keeps my hair out of my face. And then I realized the last time I was snowblowing and I was using Madeline's hat, like, oh, crap. She's going to college next year. She's probably going to take this hat with her. I better make one for myself. So I'm using all the Jamison and Smith yarn that leftover bits that I knitted my
Piri Floors
last year. Except for the background white color. I didn't have enough of the light color for a whole big hat. So it's the same colors as my Piri Floors. Yeah, so right now I'm just doing the lining. I'm about halfway through the lining. You see? So when I'm knitting it like this, the lining sticking out of the hat, it looks really weird, man. It's like, what are you doing?
Like the ear flaps.
Like a
the ear flaps are like little wings or like little fins or something. So
yeah, yes.
Well, one, you should have saved this for the Colorwork KCAL.
I know, but then I was like, you know what? I can't wait because if I start, it's gonna snow again before that. So I better start now. And I actually finished the Colorwork really fast, despite the fact that this is a bigger hat than.
See, honestly, you do so much Colorwork. This just proves it.
And so I will do. I have picked out a pair of mittens I'm going to make for myself for our cowl.
I see. So.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, so I know that pattern has 2 different versions because the one that you're doing now, the pattern on the hat is very geometric, and then there's an alpaca on the ear flaps. But there's the version where there's alpacas around the hat and then geometric patterns on the ear flaps. Do you prefer one over the other, or?
I don't know. I just felt like I thought.
Because I like the alpacas on
like
the hat bit better.
You like
Yeah.
that?
Well, I mean, because that's how you make mine anyway.
I just felt like it would go faster, the geometric print on the hat part, because it's bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to memorize as you're going along, that it would go faster, which it did.
Right.
So that's why I did it that way. So it actually has, the pattern comes with like all these different charts so you can pick and choose. Like you have 2 different patterns for the big band, which is the alpaca, or these waves. It looks like waves. And then for the other bits, the stripes, I think it has like, so you do 1, 2, 3, 4 of the stripes. I think there is 6 or 8 different ones that you can pick from.
All right.
To put there, and then there are 2 different crown charts that you can pick from. So it's really customizable. So yeah, that was, I mean, I bought that not before Ravelry, but before I was buying a lot of digital patterns. Mm-hmm. So this is actually a physical pattern, and I've used it. This is the 4th time, so
would recommend.
Yes. So that's my whip. Those 2, the Zweig, which I really didn't work on, and this hat. What have you been working on, sweetie?
This is gonna be like deja vu from last episode because I'm working on the exact same 3 projects as I mentioned last time. So the first thing I've got is my simple linen stitch cowl, except I ripped it all out while I was away because I actually decided, oh, maybe I'll try something different. Maybe I'll design something. But then I realized what I wanted to design didn't really work for this type of yarn, for the color, the hand dyed. Yeah, the hand dyed.
Kettle dyed.
Yeah, like what I wanted to do probably would work better with something a bit more solid colored. So I ripped it out and then decided, oh no, I'm just gonna keep doing the linen stitch cowl. So I restarted it, but I made it bigger.
Wider,
but that's changed the color pattern, so I am getting kind of color pooling, but it's not really like pooling, but I think I'm gonna have like just like diagonal zips of each color, which I think will actually look kind of nice. It won't look bad. It'll almost look striped.
Your lighting is horrible. I can barely
know.
see.
I'm sorry. It's fine. I'm trying to describe it with words anyway because we are an audio podcast.
I know, but I can't see it. It just looks like a blob. Oh, there we go. Is it going to be wide enough to double, or just
no, not that wide? It's going to be loose, but I want to try to make it pretty tall, so it's pretty scrunched at your neck.
Oh, okay.
Because I think I have 3 different cowls right now that are pretty narrow, so they don't like bunch up at your neck. So I want something that'll like bunch up.
So you want it to bunch up?
Yeah, I want it to bunch up
more.
So that's that one. And then I'm still working on the baby blanket, but I'm on the 3rd color. 3rd color out of 6. So this was the one I started with.
Wow.
With the dark orange, and that's the linen stitch again. And then I went to a yellow, and that's a star stitch.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I like that.
And then the white, I'm just doing linked half double crochets. But I've not done
So when
very
you're doing
that.
different stitches, does that affect like the gauge?
Yeah, so
Don't you have to like add any stitches or take some out?
With the star stitch, I think I got pretty lucky. That one felt kind of the same as the linen stitch. But this one that I'm doing now, because it's pretty much one stitch in every stitch above, exactly, it comes out much wider, so I've had to do decreases for this one, for this stitch. And then the yarn, it's not like a perfect blanket because I've mixed yarn. I've got the saffron drops, is that right?
Yeah.
And that's a really loosely plied cotton yarn, but it makes the fabric really drapey. which is nice. But then I'm using a paint box. So yes, that one's pretty drapey, and then the next 4 colors are all going to be paint box cottons, and it's a bit stiffer, but it's because it's more tightly plied, so it's easier to crochet though. And then because I have one of each ball, I've had to buy another one, and so the dye lots don't match, and you can tell. And it's
I thought you were just going to use the yarn that you got from the swap.
I was going to, but for the size that I wanted to do it, I could have made a smaller baby blanket, but I wanted to make it a little bit bigger, so I needed a little bit more. So I bought second skeins, and it's not like that bad, but it is like you can definitely tell the second orange I bought is much darker. Well, it's darker, and then the second yellow I bought is lighter. And the yellow in particular, the yellows are quite different. But it makes.
Can you mix the skein?
No, I'm not doing this over again. They're just gonna deal. It's like they're not gonna care. But it's just interesting because I used this dark orange and the yellow for my puffin.
For your
my puffin cushion. So I used the dark orange and the yellow for my puffin cushion, you know? And because once I'd done that, I sort of thought, I should have picked a lighter yellow because the orange and yellow, they're not very close in color, but they weren't as contrasty as I want them to be. But if I just got in these two that I bought now instead, because the orange is a bit darker and the yellow is a bit lighter, they are pretty contrasting. It's just, you know, which style I happen to get. And I've never really...
You can't win them all.
No. But the yellow is just like, one is it's more like an orangey yellow, and the new yellow is like a yellow. Anyway, so doing that, I haven't decided what other stitches I'm going to do with the other colors. And then my last project is the same as well. It's the Ludiola shawl or stole by Rebecca Velasquez, and that's the one that it's got like the leaf motif.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it took me a few tries because I'm just using the chart. The pattern has both charts and written, and the written bits, I'm sure, I haven't actually tried to use the written bits, and I'm sure they are clear. They're just so long.
What do you mean they're just so long?
Long.
Oh, long.
Like for each row, it's just so long. Versus just looking at the chart, it seems easier.
I see.
But I've developed a shorthand for myself, anyways. That's just a series of numbers and underlines. So I've not gotten super far, but I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 or 2 rows of full leaves and some half leaves. And then this one I am alternating my skeins. So I've got 3 of them.
Now, what's the yarn for that again?
This one's the Skein Queen.
Oh, okay.
And it's alpaca, silk, and cashmere. So soft. So I do want this one to actually be perfect, which is why I'm alternating the skeins. But because each row it's a double crochet, so the rows are quite tall, and then obviously you're having to carry the yarn up 2 rows. So there's quite a lot of yarn on the edges. So I think I'll probably have to leave enough yarn at the end to go over the edges with like a slip stitch or something, just to hide that yarn. And I've maybe made the yarn on the end, like I've maybe kept too much on the sides, but knowing that I'm going to hide them, but also because I wanted it to be able to to stretch when it blocks.
You wanted it.
Yeah, because as nice as it looks now, even just stretching it and just imagining what it's going to look like block, I'm like, oh yeah, that's much better. So I worked on those projects while I was not skiing, while I was in the mountains. And I actually didn't get as much time to crochet as I thought I was going to.
Really?
So, yeah.
Well, you did post that video of you riding on Sam's back going down the mountain.
Uh-huh. That was the closest I came to skiing. And I told him that, to be fair, I probably would have been more willing, more open / receptive to the idea of skiing if I'd done that earlier. Because I don't know.
So maybe next year.
I don't know. It seems like a lot of money to spend on something that I'm not that passionate about.
Yeah, but then they had to get you a lift ticket to get you up.
Yeah, but the walking pass for a day was, only 12 euros or something like that.
Oh. So there's a walking path?
Yeah, so one of the things I did on the last day was, this is a complete tangent. We're still supposed to be talking about our projects. But one of the things I did on the last day was get a walking pass, which cost a bit more because I wanted to go farther, and they took me up to the highest point that you could get to on the lifts, to Mont Valon, and it's also the highest. I think it's the highest point in like the Three Valleys, which is where we were.
Uh-huh.
So that was really cool, and I think it was the first time that Sam had gone as a walker as well, and so he was saying that.
So you have to walk all the way down?
No, so you take the lifts up and down. So we had to take like a bajillion different lifts. It's like up, down to like catch the right lifts and stuff to get up there. And most of them were like fully enclosed, but one of them was a chairlift. So we had to go both up and down the chairlift. Whereas like no one else was going down the lifts because they were all skiing or snowboarding down. But as a walker, we're having to, take the lifts down, and you don't actually end up doing that much walking. You just walk from, a little distance between the lift.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
But it was very beautiful.
Either. I'm sure it was.
Like being on another world up there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, any more whips for you?
Nope, just those three, same three, and I don't even have any FOs. So.
I have an FO.
What's your FO?
I took out, after last episode, I was like, I'm going to have an FO next time. And so I took out one of my UFOs that I started last year, and I finished it.
Oh my god.
My made-up infinity scarf, the one with the short row blips. So I'm just calling it blips.
Mm-hmm.
So I just knitted it until I didn't have any more gray, the background color. Mm-hmm. And I only had like this little bit. So it wasn't enough for me to do, because I was doing 24 rows of garter in between the blips. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have enough to do another 24 rows. Mm-hmm. And that's when I ended it. And I grafted it because I had a provisional cast on. There you go.
So how did you do that? Because it looks like it's diagonal.
It is.
So how did you make that?
So it's garter stitch, and I would do a decrease at the beginning of a row, and then an increase at the end of the row, and then knit back. So at every other row I would do an increase and a decrease. Or a decrease and increase.
Kind of makes sense, but I think because also it doesn't in my head.
So on all the right side rows, I would do knit two stitches together, and then I go down to the end, and then add a stitch.
Okay. So when you gonna release this pattern, eh?
I just released it. That's it. That's all I did. And then every 12 garter ridges, I would do the color with the blips. Or there's just little short roll little blips, and they don't even match. Because some of them I have like 3 of them. Some of the rows I have 3 blips. Some of them I have 2. And some of them aren't even. So it's just like whatever. I would like. I think I only had 1 blip. Just like whatever I was in the mood to do, and whatever I remembered, because sometimes I forgot to do like the third blip
Mm-hmm.
or something.
Hmm.
So I haven't blocked it
Nice.
yet.
What
But since
yarn
it is
did you
garter
use?
stitch, I use leftover yarn for the gray. It's a Knit Picks fingering, and it's got a little bit of sparkle in it.
The gray does.
I'll put it in the notes. I can't remember the gray. Yes,
Mm-hmm. It's like a light gray.
and the blue one is just a Knit Picks sock yarn.
But I like how
One of their
the blue, even though it's the accent color, is the one that's varied.
yeah, that was the whole point.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Keeping that one for yourself?
I think so. I don't know. Well, I mean, I can wear it a few times, and if I get tired of it, I'll wash it, and I can.
Which is not a thing you would do with other things.
No,
I bought
but
this
it's,
shirt
you know,
and I wore it a few times and I washed it and now I'm going to give it to you for your birthday.
Yeah, but it's hand knit and I knit it.
You were just test driving it to make sure it would keep.
Yes, I was.
Keep
Make
the
sure
recipient.
it works.
Yeah. Oh god.
But I did. I wove in all the ends, and there was a lot because I didn't want to carry
The blips.
the blue yarn from like here to here,
Mhm.
which is 24 rows of garter. That would have been a nightmare.
Mhm.
It would have been too tight. So
Is there, maybe this would be sort of MOMMYPEDIA, is there like maybe I've asked this before, a best way to weave in ends? Because I feel like no matter what you do, just the end always ends up popping out, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know how to weave in crochet, to tell you the truth.
Uh-huh.
Other than like doing it in between, because there's like 2 layers.
Yeah.
You kind of do it in between. But there definitely is a right way to weave in when it comes to your knitting. But if like you're weaving in something that's very lacy, then it's like, okay, then it's
Impossible.
it's kind of like weaving in ends with crochet. You just do the best you can.
Uh-huh.
So just make sure your tail's not too short. Just weave in as much as, a big long bit and then cut it. And then that way, if it does come out, you have enough to tuck back in.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was just thinking about this baby blanket because when I feel like giving something to somebody who doesn't knit or crochet, the ends is not something that they would think of. So if when they see something coming out, they're like, oh no, it's falling apart. So I was just trying to figure out what I was going to do. So I thought I might actually back this with fabric.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But then it won't be stretchy.
Yeah, but it also will help with like
Hiding the ends.
hiding the ends and making sure it stays a rectangle. Because especially with different stitches for each band, I think some of them want to be slightly different sizes than the others.
Well, if you do that,
I looked online
make sure you wash both first before you do that.
Oh yeah. One of the tutorials that I found was to hand
Slip stitch it.
Well, yeah. So, you sew your fabric, or you do the stitches, loose stitches on the fabric on the ends, so that you can then crochet it onto the blanket.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I might do that because that seems, I don't know, the most manageable.
Oh.
Anyway.
But then you have to do those stitches like evenly.
Yeah. Ish.
Okay.
Right. So we'll probably talk about our Colorwork KCAL because that starts soon, and I've kind of almost forgotten about it. If I'm being perfectly honest. So today was a mad...
You were still on vacation brain.
Yeah, and then this mad scramble of trying to get back to work and be in real life mode.
Yeah, that's never fun.
No, especially when vacation brain... Do you even have to think about what we're going to eat ever? Because somebody just made you dinner every night? And breakfast every morning?
Nice. That's like going on a cruise where you don't have
Except
to...
then you don't have to be on a boat.
That's nice. So you guys never went out, right?
No, we went out for lunches.
Oh, I see. Wow, that is nice.
Right.
And they had breakfast for you?
Yeah, they cooked us breakfast every morning.
Wow. Very nice.
Mm.
That's the kind of vacation I want to go on.
By the end of it, some of the boys was just saying that they were looking forward to being hungry again. It was just like they cooked you breakfast, you ate too much, and then you went out for lunch, and you probably ate too much, and then they cooked you dinner,
Yeah, but weren't
and you
they
ate too much.
spending the whole day skiing and then be hungry?
Yeah, you'd think, but it was a lot of
long
food.
day. Maybe they didn't expect you to eat it all. They're like, oh, we can take home the rest leftovers.
Well, no, they did take home like their own portions as well, and box that and set that aside. And we also watched them throw away what we didn't eat, and it was just like, I mean, you know, some of the people, I mean, actually managed to eat their whole portions. Me, not so much. But by the time it got to the last, like the cheese course at the end, I'd have a bite of cheese just so I could try the cheese, and that's all I could manage.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, that's completely beside the point. The Colorwork KCAL is our spring KCAL. So the starting date...
Too bad this isn't a video cast. I should see you.
The start date is February 9th, and the end date will be April 26th. And the idea is that you just do some sort of color work, whether that's knitting or crocheting. And I feel like for crocheting, you maybe have slightly more options for techniques. Would you say?
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I don't
We
know.
talked about the different types of
there are a lot of different
color work.
Crochet. I'm doing it again. Knitting techniques out there.
Okay, then take that back.
So, whatever you want to try. If you want to try something new, I think I'm not going to try anything new because my brain's not there right now. What's that?
I said, how adventurous of you. So yeah, whips will be allowed, any kind of color work. And yeah, we're excited to see what sorts of things people do, what kind of color work people do. But
yes.
So do you know what you're going to do? What to make?
I'm going to do a pair of mittens.
Oh, right, you said.
I haven't bought the pattern yet, but it's a really cute two-color. Yeah, it's a two-color stranded mitten that I'm gonna do. That's not fiddleheads.
Because you've already made what, 3 of those?
No, I think I only made 2, but I'm just want.
Are you
don't
sure?
Go there right now.
Yeah. Okay.
I am.
Okay. I think
you're baking.
I'm actually gonna do a pattern that I started and frogged, which is the honey clone cowl. And it says...
You've talked about this,
Yeah,
right?
because I frogged it. I don't know if I mentioned that I frogged it, but...
No, I don't remember you mentioning that you frogged it.
That was a while ago, but it says that the honey clone was inspired by a 2-color version of the knit honey cowl.
Which you have.
Yes, which I have. That you made me.
I gave you.
Yeah. It's one of my many purple
like
cowl. I don't know why. I just have so many purple cowls.
It's not purple. It's mostly brown.
It's
isn't
purple.
It? Oh.
It's like a deep purple. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. And what does it say? It even says the color work is... So it is definitely color work. A simple 4-row repeat using only 1 color at a time.
Okay.
And the length and width are adjustable, so I've got to decide if I want to do like a big infinity one or close to the neck one.
I think you have a lot of scrunchy ones. Maybe make a big infinity one.
Question is, will I have enough yarn?
Will you have time to finish it?
I think I have time to finish it, but I don't know if I have enough yarn. I'm going to use a skein that I bought at the Yarn Festival, and then I've bought some more yarn to go with it. Nope. Yes, nope. That's a complete lie. Everything I said was a lie.
Okay.
I'm just going to use some yarn that I have, and then some more that I bought, but not from Edinburgh Yarn Festival.
Okay. Well, I have two mittens that I was thinking of, and I couldn't decide. So you can help me.
Uh-huh.
The first one it's just called Sheep Mittens by Jorid Lindvik. Lindvik, Linvik. Jorid
Okay.
is the first thing.
Oh,
Isn't that
it's
cute?
cute. It's one sheep on two mittens.
On two hands.
So
Yeah,
one
so
one hand is a
that's
butt hand and one hand is a head hand. It is cute though.
yeah, and I think one side is a boy and the other side is a girl.
Oh, yeah, one's got the horns. Oh, that's really
Mhm.
cute.
It is very cute. And then the other one I was thinking to do is called the Waves Mitten by Tin Can Knits.
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaning towards the sheep.
They're like, they make me think, they remind me of like arches
Mm.
rather than waves. I think definitely do the sheep.
Well, the sheep one, I'd have to buy yarn. The waves one, I wouldn't have to buy yarn. So that's why. That's why I was thinking, like, I want to do the sheep so that I was like, oh, I have to buy yarn for that. But I could do the waves without buying yarn.
Sheep.
Okay, sheep it is.
I mean,
Today, well, I have 6 days to get my yarn.
yeah. I was just looking because it's part of, or the pattern is in a book as well. But then the cover of the book, they're very random. It's the Big Book of Knitted Mittens, 45 distinctive Scandinavian patterns, and it's an interesting array.
$19 on Amazon. Yeah.
One of them is just like giraffes. And one of them is a guitar and skulls, and I assume it says rock and roll.
Yeah. No, or it says rock and rock.
Rock and rock.
Rock.
I'm just gonna assume rock and roll.
With piano keys on the cuffs. That's really cute, actually. Not that I'm.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But yeah, they are pretty random.
They're cute though. You can see like a preview of some of them, the books on Amazon. Some of the other pairs.
Oh, you're in Amazon now?
Yes, I'm looking at the book. Just
Oh,
finding some mittens that I want you to make me, really.
What about the cow? Did you see the cow? Cow mittens.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like the sheep, but
The
cows.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's the cat one. There's like two black cats, and then the mitten is like, the thumb looks like a fish skeleton, and then there's a little paw at the top of the fingers.
I don't see that one. What's that one called?
I don't know. It's on the.
It's called cat.
It's on the back of the. I'm looking at the book itself, rather than Ravelry.
I don't see. I see a dog. Oh wait, cat mitts. Oh yeah, the thumb is a fish skeleton.
That's what I said.
I obviously wasn't listening to you.
Too busy looking at all the different mittens.
Exactly. Yeah, that one's kind of boring. It's only two colors, but then the waves mitten is only two colors.
Yeah, what you talking about? Right.
No, I think maybe I will do the
Sheep.
Good. I just have to shop for good. At least I don't think. I mean, I have plenty of white fingering.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have the. And I have blue fingering. I don't. I'll have to look to see what I have in my stash. So maybe I don't even have to spend money before I go to EYF next month.
Right. For a second, I thought you were saying you weren't going to spend money at EYF, and then I was thinking, that's a lie.
No, that's not possible. How is that even possible? I only have. There's one sweater's worth I want to buy, and then the rest is, I don't know. Which I did last year too. I bought one sweater's worth, and the rest of it was random.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Right. Do we have anything else to talk about?
I think we're done.
Right, so you can find the show notes for this episode and every episode on our website, which is kcacypodcast.wordpress.com. Our Instagram handle is kcacypodcast. My personal one is Alyson here. My mom's personal one is upstate_Viv. Join our Ravelry group at Keep Calm and Carry Yarn Podcast. I'll make sure to get a thread going for the Colorwork KCAL. And subscribe, like, comment, whatever on YouTube or iTunes or wherever else you happen to be listening to us. And thanks for listening.
And remember to keep calm and carry yarn.